جماعة أنا الشاشة تبعتي مقلوبة.
Okay, are we live?
Yeah.
Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EMR15 Preparatory webinar. My name is Adonis Wazir, and I am the Regional Director for the EMR. I am also joined by the rest of the wonderful regional team, but I will introduce them as we go through on this throughout this presentation. So this is an annual initiative that the regional team usually prepares, and the purpose of this is to prepare you for the upcoming regional meeting that's happening in Muscat, Oman this year. So I'm just gonna share my screen and move to the presentation. All right. Oops. Okay. So a lot of work has been going through to prepare this this regional meeting, and a lot has been happening behind the scenes. These are the people that have been behind the presentations this whole time. So they've been really investing their time and working hard in order to make this happen. So don't be afraid to shower them with hugs of appreciation. Once you see them in Muscat, you're going to be seeing them a lot. So by now you have most probably have already almost completed the preparations for the regional meeting. So this webinar is basically going to complement that preparation, just to make sure that you have everything set, that you're familiar with everything that's going to happen, so that you can be very ready for this meeting. So the agenda of this webinar is basically we're going to cover what is an overview of the EMR, what it is, what's the meeting, some logistical information from the OC. We'll go over the pre-EMR agenda and the workshops that are being offered, followed by the general agenda of the EMR. And then we will go into the parallel sessions, which will include the standing committee sessions and the president's sessions, followed by explanation of the theme events we have prepared, the plenary, and other sessions. We will also follow this by a Q&A session, which we will leave to the end. That being said, if you have any questions throughout this webinar, please send them on the feed, on the comments in the thread, and we will answer them at the end. So what is the EMR regional meeting? From our regulations, the IFMSA EMR regional meeting is an annual gathering for all EMR NMOs with candidate, associate, or full member status in IFMSA that aims to bring the NMOs of the region together to work towards IFMSA and regional goals, as well as the NMOs' common objectives. So just a bit of background. IFMSA NMOs usually convene twice a year, once in March and once in August, and IFMSA General Assemblies. Besides those two meetings, each of the 5 IFMSA regions within IFMSA holds an annual regional meeting. These regions are Africa, the Americas, Asia Pacific, the EMR, which we are hosting, and Europe. These events are usually attended by around 300 medical students, and they offer a unique opportunity to learn, discuss, collaborate, and exchange ideas and experiences. They also aim to tackle important regional health issues, take decisions that will guide the work of the region. They are beneficial, fun, and memorable. These are just a few fun pictures from previous EMRs that happened before. So while the regional team has been invested in preparing the sessions, the activities, and really all the content of the regional meeting, the organizing committee in Oman has been working since the beginning of the term on all of the events logistics. They're also doing a wonderful job, and you'll be seeing a lot of them once you're in Muscat. The venue where the EMR15 is taking place is the Santara Muscat Hotel. It's a very nice venue with enough room for all of the participants. The rooming distribution will hold 1 to 2 persons per room and will offer a wide range of amenities and services. In case you need any more specific information about the venue or the accommodation, you can visit the website at emr15oman.com, or you can email the organizing committee at emr15oman@gmail.com. Now, before I move on, allow me to introduce one of the regional assistants of the EMR, Noor Hijazi.
Hi everyone, I'm Noor Hijazi, one of the general assistants for the EMR, and I'll be talking now about the pre-EMR. Adonis, can you put that slide on? Thank you. So the actual EMR is preceded by a 3-day event called the Pre-EMR, which is a capacity building event where workshops are conducted. This Pre-EMR, 5 workshops are being delivered. We actually had more than 10 workshop proposals, but those 5 were selected based on the needs of the region. We took into consideration regional priorities, which were assessed by a baseline assessment that was sent at the beginning of the term, the EMR strategy, and we also consulted the NMOs. You can see the agenda. Can you put the agenda up, please? So here's the agenda of the pre-EMR. The first day is on the 3rd of February, where no sessions will be delivered, but it's when the opening ceremony will take place. In the opening ceremony, the regional team, the organizing committee, and the team of official members who are present will be introduced, and it's followed by dinner and a party. The dress code for this opening ceremony is formal. For the second and third day, the important times that you have to remember are 7:30 for breakfast, 9 a.m. for sessions, 8 p.m. for dinner, and 9 p.m. for social program. As you can see, there are 9 hours of sessions in those 2 days. It does seem a lot, but please do attend every session, as this is part of the experience, and the workshop coordinators are preparing very great sessions for you. The last day is on the 6th of February, where there will be some sessions, and then the transition to EMR15 will happen. We hope all of you that are attending the pre-EMR are also attending the EMR, but if not, this is the day where you have to check out so that the rooms will be ready for the EMR delegates. Can we move to the next slide, please? So on the following slides, you can find the 5 workshops that are being offered, along with the coordinators and the the email for each of the coordinators of the workshops. We are going to have academic quality and recognition of exchanges, public health leadership training on mental health. Next, please. AMAT, or advocacy and medical education, women's reproductive health and access to safe abortion, and finally, training new trainers. Thank you. That's it for me now.
Thank you, Noor. So moving on from the pre-EMR, we're going to move to the EMR15 general agenda. So this is the general agenda of the EMR. You can see in front of you. The arrival day will be on the 6th of February, which is also the departure day for the pre-EMR. The parallel sessions will start the next morning. These are the sessions of the different standing committees, like we said, as well as the president's session. All morning sessions will start at 9 a.m. sharp and go on until 1 p.m. with a 30-minute break at 11 each day. Only on the last day, we will have an extra session after 2 p.m. after lunch, which is an hour and a half long. Lunchtime will also serve as the NMO hour. We will talk about the NMO hour in more details in a bit. The first team event will take place on the first day, which will go on for 2.5 hours, followed by the activities presentation, which is another 2 hours. After that, we will have the training sessions, and that's it, and followed by the cultural night, which will be the social program for the first day. The next day, we will have like the same thing, parallel sessions in the morning, followed by another theme event, training sessions, the joint sessions, and then we will break before the plenary, which is the big event of this regional meeting, and then social program as well. As for the third day, the only difference is that we'll be having the activities fair and the exchange poster fair before the closing ceremony. So like I said, the morning sessions are the standing committee sessions and the president's sessions. Now I'm going to slowly introduce each of the standing committee regional assistants allow them to talk about their sessions. We'll start with Ghaida from Lebanon.
Hello, everyone. This is Ghaida, your current SCOF regional assistant. And I'm so happy to be introducing with you the schedule for our SCOF sessions. As you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory. Every day is themed. The first, we're going to have a warm welcoming, and the morning session is going to be an intro to the world of SCOF regionally and internationally. It will have the participants to be exposed to everything regarding SCOF, to get familiar with their entourage, with the room, and also to ice break. Might be even visiting other sessions room, we might never know. The second session, its first part is going to occur in the morning. It's going to be about non-communicable disease, let's talk NCDs. Since this topic has been extensively discussed before, it's going to be presented in a different way from a different angle, focusing on social determinants of health and other aspects. As for the session 2, with the theme Who Run the World, we're going to be exposed in the morning session to SCOP external opportunities. This session will include a WHA simulation session on a surprise topic also. The second session is going to be titled Mind Your Mind. It's going to have 2 parts, a beginner and an advanced session on mental health to equip the participants with all the knowledge to ameliorate their activities in their NMOs. And the last session for the day is going to be a joint session with SCORA about HPV. As for the third day, the theme is titled Health for All. The topics discussed on that day are actually about all the stakeholders involved in public health issues, starting first in the morning by universal health coverage, leave no one behind, introductory session, followed by an AMR session, it's in your hand. And during the session, we're going to receive input from the participants to improve the work of SCOF regionally. And we'll end it by a session on advocacy on a very prominent global priority topic, climate change. Moving on to the next slide. Okay, so this is the session's team, the people behind all this beautiful work and the schedule as well. It will be comprised of myself and 3 amazing guys, Asad, Muhammad, and Ali from LAMSIC Lebanon, FMSA Egypt, and FMSA Iraq, respectively. Of course, the session is going to be attended as well by the SCOF director, Katya, so we're going to get to meet her, and she's going to also help us work on the sessions. Some orange tips for the participants before coming. It's advisable to bring anything orange you have, preferably reusable stuff. Bring some eco-friendly souvenirs, bring a reusable water bottle as well as coffee mug. You're trying to stay green. Any photos or posters to be showcased on our SCOF wall in the session, and be familiar with all the policies and regulations present in your NMO to be more interactive throughout the session. And don't forget your SCOF energy, of course. Lastly, I would like to announce that we're going to have a SCOF preparatory webinar. The date will be announced soon on the SCOF groups and the international one as well as the WhatsApp group. It will include myself, the sessions team, and SCOFD, and will help you be introduced in details and thoroughly to the SCOF sessions as well as to the process of the 3 days. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to meet you all, guys.
Thank you so much, Aida. Now we will be moving to the SCORA sessions with Dana Nabilsi from Lebanon.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Dana Nabilsi from Lebanon. I'm the current SCORA RA for the EMR. And I'm going to briefly guide you through all the sessions that we're going to be having in the EMR. So the day will start, as always, with the introduction and SCORA 101, where we'll introduce SCORA, the focus areas, the sessions team, and the agenda. And afterwards, we will continue into virginity and control of female sexuality. So in this session, we'll tackle myths surrounding virginity. We will talk about different ways in how virginity and female sexuality intertwine. We'll talk a bit about the hymenoplasty, about virginity testing, and FGM. Then we will move to forced and early marriage, which is specific to our EMR region. We'll talk about all the different reasons, the consequences, and what medical students can do for that topic. The next day, we'll be tackling 2 very important large topics. So first one will be sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, TOGI, where we will explain to you all the differences in general and EMR-specific data, laws, regulations, and kind of collaborations and projects that we can do on the topic. After that, we'll talk about sexual and reproductive health and rights in the humanitarian setting. So we will be mostly tackling the refugee setting, as this is the humanitarian emergency of our region, but we will also mildly go into conflict and other types of humanitarian crisis. We will tackle both the sexual and gender-based violence that happens in humanitarian settings, the vulnerability of women, and also reproductive health within that setting. The next day, we have one long session on comprehensive sexuality education. So this session would be very specific to our NMOs, We want to kind of address all the different CSE programs, all the challenges and barriers that you're facing in implementing your CSE, and what is the method to promote CSE programs in a more inclusive and comprehensive way in our region, keeping in mind all the cultural sensitivity that this brings. We will continue with HIV and other STIs. So as this is a priority in our strategy for this region, we will tackle the global response, 1999 strategy, and all the different campaigns we're doing on the topic, along with basic information. We will then go into a very short session about access to safe abortion, mostly an introductory session for anyone who's not experienced in the topic, and we will wrap up and form regional collaborations. Afterwards, we will do the regional collaboration and the plan forward. So the sessions team will include our SCORA director, who's from Tunis, myself, and 3 members from Lebanon, IFMSA Iraq, and IFMSA Morocco. To be prepared for the sessions, please read up on your CSE program. If there was an attempt to establish one, what were the challenges, because this is the session that is most and more relevant. And please get with you everything read, promotional material, and your enthusiasm and open mind. And I'll be welcoming you in a few weeks.
Thank you, Dana. Okay, so next we will have the SCOME sessions with Ubada from Jordan, who really loves pandas.
Aloha, everyone. I am Ubada, the SCOME regional assistant. So let's take you in this trip of a few wonderful 3 days of SCOME sessions. On the first day, as you will notice, we will start with the introduction. We will start at 9 sharp, so be in time. Along with that, we will introduce to each other to know with a lot of energizers, icebreakers. You will get to know us also to the session teams, me, and also the SCOME director, Katarina Rodriguez. The second session will be non-formal education and meaningful student involvement, which is highly important sessions, as it's been suggested by many of your normies and NMOs, to shed the light on how we can involve students in more organizing work and more activities. That will be for the first day. For the second day, we will have advocacy in medical education, as we believe advocacy is the way to implement the changes that we seek in our NMOs. So it will be not as usual, more informative or theoretical. It will be more of a practical and to get you out of your zone. Second, we will have a social accountability, and this is like a huge celebration because we will have an external, which is EMR for the first time, and he will be facilitating that session for us. So hold on to that. Moving on to the day 3, we will have SCOME programs. This time, the SCOME programs will be more focused on how to enroll, when to enroll, what type of programs that we have in SCOME, and all the needed support for it. Lastly, we will have the parallel sessions. We divided it into beginner and advanced. As beginner, there is burnout and stress management. As advanced, I will be creating your national strategies, which is advice for normies or for NMOs who have only one delegation. We will have the closing sessions, an open space to discuss many of the topics that you will suggest during the first day. Moving on. How to be ready for SCOME sessions. Check your emails. You're going to receive a lot of them. Don't everyone. Be prepared and ask your normies for all advice and information to be shed light on. Bring anything friendly, gifts, of course, your pandas items, your SCOME t-shirt or any white t-shirt, that will be only fine. And hope all of you to see you in the EMR SCOMEdians. That's it for us, and have safe travels, SCOMEdians.
Thank you so much, Ubada. Now, let me introduce Ali Khafaja from Jordan, who will talk to you about the SCORP sessions.
Come on, Adam. Come on, Adam. This is not how we do it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ali Khafaja. No worldwide as Jay, the SCORP regional assistant for the EMR. And tonight, on behalf of Algebra, we want to regional teams to grace the EMR region live at IFMSA's international YouTube channel. I want to welcome all of you members of the IFMSA universe to the world's most famous regional meeting of all time.
Please excuse us while we resolve these technical difficulties.
Yes? Yeah, okay. So, Ado, we've been talking about the different IFMSA meetings all over the world. But let me tell you, if you even try to catch your breath walking in here, then you don't belong. This place is... Oh, sorry, I just realized that I was muted. Okay, so let's repeat this once again. Ladies and gentlemen, no.
Okay. So
okay, guys, can you
let's
hear me right
just
now?
move on until move on to the SCOPE and SCORE sessions until we resolve Ali's issue with Natasha and Mohammed Abu Diab.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mohammed Abu Diab. I'm SCOPE Regional Assistant for the term 2018-2019. Are you ready for the most energetic sessions in the EMR15, which is SCOPE and SCORE? I'm going to talk briefly about the agenda. The first day that we will have a small introduction for the whole EMR and the agenda and EMR session SCOPE and SCORE. The second session will be introduction to SCOPE and SCORE for all the participants. And after that, we will have two parallel sessions for the experienced participant. And the second session will be for the beginner participant. The first one will be perfect exchanges, and the second one will be recognition of exchanges, which is for the experienced members. After that, we will have a small break, and we will have after it the small working groups. And this year we prepared 3 small working groups, and we will talk about them in details in our SCOPE SCORE webinar in the next days. Okay, after that, I'm going to move to the next day, which is the first session will be academic quality of exchanges, and the second one, conflict management in exchanges, which is one of the most important issues that we are facing in our region, how to deal with the emergencies in exchanges. And after that, we will have a session about global health and gap exchanges. And one thing interesting in the second day, which is the joint session. This year, SCOPE and SCORE, they will have 2 joint sessions. The first one between SCOPE and SCORP, and it will talk about refugees missions and human rights and exchanges. And the second one will be between SCORE and SCOME. And what's interesting also in this third day that we will have sustainability in exchanges, and after it, which is marketing in exchanges, which is a new session that have never been in any of the EMR regional meetings before. And after that, we will have a sharing is caring session, and after in this session, we will let you to present your success stories in your NMOs and everything good happened in the last year in your NMO that you would like to share it with everyone. And after that, we will have the lunch. After that will be the small working groups outcomes presentation. And after that, we will have 1 hour of goodbye session that we will let you to share your feelings toward the participants and give your secret friend his gift and take a decent pictures with all of us. And the most important event in the third day will be exchange poster fair at the evening. And what about next? Go Ado. The second, and now let me introduce you to all of our sessions team. I will start clockwise, and I will start with the one and the only and the most energetic, motivated person I've ever seen and met in my life, SCOPE D, Tanya Zaprova. And the second one, which is my partner since I was in my local LC, and we were local officers together, and we grew up as a national officers. Now we are RAs, Miss Natasha Buran. And after that, we will have 2 of the most motivated national officers that they showed a huge motivation in their application toward exchanges. Mr. Ahmed Muntasir, and he is the NEO of IFMSA Iraq, and Mr. Abbas Fadil Nouri of IFMSA Iraq, and I'm the last one. And that's it for me. Natasha?
Hi, everyone. I'm Natasha Buran. I'm from IFMSA JO. I'm the current SCORE RA for EMR. So in our last day together, we're going to have an exchange poster fair. This is your opportunity. SCOPE and SCORE participants are going to be there holding a booth for you to let you know about their exchange program, about their academic quality of their exchange program, and the social program. And it'll be an opportunity for you to trade goodies and to showcase everything you have to offer in your exchange program. We're also going to have a SCOPE SCORE webinar for you ahead of the EMR because we want you all to be prepared. We don't want anyone to show up overwhelmed and not have an idea of what to do, because everyone, even the participants, has a role in our sessions. So I want you to be really active. I want to be really engaging with all of us. So we're going to have a preparatory webinar for you led by the SCOPE SCORE sessions team, and the date and time will be announced to you all very soon. To be prepared for our sessions, please get your blue t-shirts, get your flags. While packing for the EMR, please remember that we're going green. So if you're going to hand out any flyers or brochures in the exchange poster fair, please try to have it printed out on recyclable paper and think about your consumption of plastics, and just try to go green with us. Don't forget also your secret friend gifts, any little souvenirs you'd like to pass out to the new friends you're going to meet in our sessions. And thank you very much. Can't wait to see you all there.
Thank you so much, Natasha and Muhammad Abu Diab, for your wonderful presentations. We are going to give Ali another chance now to go with the SCORP sessions. Ali, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Can you all hear me? Are we all well right now? Everyone? Can you say like anything? Can you hear me?
Ali?
Yes. Can you all hear me? Please? Hello?
We can hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
Ali, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, rock and roll time. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ali Khafaja.
Yes, we can hear you, Ali.
Okay, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ali Khafaja, known worldwide as Jay, with the technical difficulties, the SCORP regional assistant for the EMR. And tonight, on behalf of arguably one of the greatest regional teams to ever grace the EMR region, live at IFMSA's international YouTube channel, I want to welcome all of you people on the IFMSA universe to the world's most famous regional meeting of all time, the 15th annual regional meeting, EMR meeting. Ado, we've been talking a lot about different IFMSA meetings all over the world, but let me tell you right now, if you even try to catch your breath walking into the EMR meeting, then you don't really belong. This place is special. Which brings me to the biggest SCORP sessions in the history of the EMR meetings, sticking true to our intentions of rising above. We bring to you the first ever SCORP sessions to be, number one, completely themed and conceptual. Yeah, completely themed and conceptual, sticking with the EMR meeting's main theme about migrants, as we bring to you not just a session, but a 3 days A to Z, from death to destiny, all-inclusive experience, not just of the life of a migrant, but an experience that will own your mind, skills, and heart to dedicate all of the knowledge that you learn throughout these sessions, these activities, to become the activist, the advocate, the humanitarian that you always aspired to be. To fight for the ones who can't fight, and to be the light in the darkness. And second of all, for the first time in the history of the EMR meetings, we are bringing to you the international SWG system, where participants will be split on 3 international SWGs that will shed the light on the most important topics related to SCORP's work in the EMR region, whether it be capacity building, activities, limitations that limit SCORP's work in the EMR region. And throughout the 3 days of the EMR, the SWG teams will meet up continuously to discuss their cases, details, come up with solutions and improvements, and present their cases at the end of our wrap-up sessions. Ladies and gentlemen, February 6th to 10th, live from Muscat, Oman, the EMR meeting becomes the reigning home of SCORP Yin's City. EMR, we have had a wonderful time leading up to this meeting, but come February 6th to 10th, eat, sleep, conquer in the name of the Green Kingdom. Repeat, courtesy, Ado, please, next. Courtesy of the greatest sessions army, the elite forces of the kingdom. Hold on a minute. Yes. Okay. Ado, please, next to the next slide. The sessions team, consisting of Ms. Marwa Saad, Ahmed Zayed, Adham Osama, Maysam Saab, Jacob Sheikh Ali, Karim Jabir, Zainab Bashrawi, Mahmoud Abdul Azim, Sarah Quran, and myself to bring to you the greatest SCORP sessions in the history of the EMR meeting once again. Now, how to come to how to come prepared to these sessions. Next slide, please, Ado. Now this slide is completely self-explanatory. Study the survival kit, but most importantly, please do your homework on the theme of the sessions, because we're not going to spoil everything to you in the survival kit, because it's quite simple. Scorpions do not believe in spoilers. We believe in surprises. And just bring everything green, go green. Bring anything that's green in your wardrobe, anything that's green as a souvenir, bring it. Bring your cup, bring your colors, bring your sweets, bring everything that's great. Bring stuff that are related to your activities, because you're going to be representing in the SCORP fair of the EMR region. And most importantly, bring your smiles, bring your music, bring your voices, bring your enthusiasm, and most importantly, subscribe to PewDiePie. But now, to the last slide, please, Ado, to the last slide. When we took over the SCORP RA for EMR duties, we told you that you better expect us. Sure, the times were bumpy, constructions were tiring, and hell, we even had our technical difficulties. But finally, on behalf of the Scorpions of the EMR region, it is my honor, my privilege to bring to you God's greatest creation on green earth, our kingdom, the most ultimate conquerors in the holy name of the Green Kingdom. Goodbye, mwah, and good night. Click, click, bam.
Okay, thank you so much, Ali, for that very fiery and feisty presentation. Now we're going to move on to the president's sessions. Excuse me. So the president's sessions will start off with a welcome session in the beginning. This is just a presentation of the agenda and some icebreakers. We will then move on to a regional overview session, which will give a background about the work of our region, updates from the regional team, and the report on the implementation of the EMR 2018-2021 strategy. After that, we will move on to the session on regional priorities. This is something that we have been discussing with the NMO presidents a while back, and we will have an official discussion about this here after we present the work that we have done so far. After that, we will move on to an NMO management session. So after our individual meetings with the presidents, we identified key areas that most NMOs need support in. Since then, we have been developing an NMO support plan that we will present and discuss during this session. After the break, after the 30-minute break, we will have a capacity building session that will be given by your regional assistant for capacity building, which will talk about capacity building in the region, as well as strengthening capacity building within your NMOs. The next day, we'll start off with an IFMSA session, which is a broad session that will talk about IFMSA and how our regional work contributes to the general goals of the Federation. We will also have the chance to discuss issues pertaining to the upcoming March meeting in Slovenia. Next, we will talk about we will have the discussion of the proposals for amendments of the IOGs. This is one of the most fun sessions because we have a lot of discussions that takes place here. Just a side note, the proposed amendments to the IOGs will be shared with you very soon. After the break, we will go on to a plenary session where we will have a plenary, the plenary team will conduct a simulation followed by just a brief discussion of the plenary procedures to facilitate the plenary that is happening later on that evening. For the last day, we will start off with an external representation session. So this session will cover external representation on the IFMSA level, the regional level, and then move on to how you can develop external representation within your NMOs in terms of advocacy, policy making, and so on. This will be given by our EMR external assistant, Saad, along with Tariq Azin, the IFMSA liaison officer for public health issues, who will be joining us in the EMR. The next session is regional body time, which is time allocated for discussions among NMOs to develop collaborative plans. The NMOs have been grouped, and the groupings will be found in the survival kits once they are released. The next session will be given by our IFMSA Vice President for Finances, Ahmed Taha, who will this shares his insight about finances, since that is something that most of the NMOs are struggling with. After that, we will have an open space discussion, the content of which will be determined by the NMO presidents or the attendees of the president's session. We will be open to suggestions for this, depending on what you guys want to talk about. And finally, we will have a session on IFNSA programs, what they are, and what is their importance, and the enrollment process, and so on. So next, we're going to move on to NMO Hour. I just want to say something first, just as a kind reminder. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments on the left of the screen, and we will answer them at the end of the session. Now, please allow me to introduce Amr Hammani from Morocco, who will talk to you about the NMO Hour and the theme event.
Thanks, Adonis. Hi, everyone. I'm Amr Hammani, one of the general assistants for the EMR, along with Noor. So, for the NMO Hour, it is a daily delegation meeting that the delegations have to discuss everything going on around at the meeting in order to have a fruitful outcome. A few key points to observe in the NMO Hours. First, you can use it as a recap of your days to discuss the contents of the sessions and what could be beneficial to your NMOs and what could be brought back. Second, the NMO Hour can also be a good opportunity to plan the delegates' distribution and the different tasks of each delegate. You can also use it to discuss any problems that may arise with your head of delegation, participate in active decision-making, as you'll get to discuss the internal operating guidelines, amendment proposals, the EMR15 host candidatures, etc. Also, and because there are many things to discuss this year, we decided with the regional team that we will be providing you during the president session to the head of delegations with guidelines for each NMO hour with recommended topics to discuss in each one in order to maximize the effectiveness. Adonis, can you give me the next slide, please? Okay, so moving on. During this EMR meeting, we will be having two theme events. The first one will be health of migrant workers, and the second one will be your participation forum that Adonis will be talking about right after. So for the first one, which is health of migrant workers. Our region is known for having a very high number of migrant workers. This session will aim to shed light on the different aspects of health of migrants in the workplace. It will start by a panel discussion followed by a session to gather input of the participants. The input that we'll be gathering will be put in a document, in a declaration that will be adopted in the plenary right after. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Amr. So the next team event that is happening on day 2 is something new that we are trying. It is a youth participation forum. So youth participation has been at the core of IFMSA's work since the beginning. And that's why we decided to tackle it in this theme event. This event will present a novel approach to have a fruitful discussion between NMOs of the region. The objectives will mainly be to identify struggles that the EMR NMOs have with meaningful youth participation in their countries. We will also examine successful strategies that NMOs have employed to further their participation. And then we will look at the possible roles that IFMSA, the regional team, or the officials, and the support that they can provide. So this theme event, this forum needs a lot of preparation, and we will be sending a lot of details and instructions on how you can prepare. So stay tuned and get excited. Now, allow me to introduce May from Egypt, who will talk to you about the training sessions that we will be offering. May?
Hey, awesome people of the EMR. My name is May Haggag. I am the regional assistant for capacity building in the EMR region. I hope you are all thrilled for this regional meeting, because I know we are all thrilled here. You could tell by the tone of Ali's voice. Yeah, and as we all know, in the GAs and the regional meetings, there is always the part for the training sessions, where we are for the capacity building of our members. So this year's regional meeting training sessions will be given by the soon-to-be trainers who will be attending the TNT workshops in the You will get to know them as the last airbenders. The training sessions will be cooked, of course, and at the same time, to add the extra twist this time, it would not be like any other training session attended in previous regional meetings. The next slide, Ada, please. So to the question of how exactly do we sign up for these training sessions, there will be a booth explaining the training sessions, how to sign up in the regional meeting with the OC. But you should all know that a finalist with the session's name, the trainers, and a brief description will be given to the NMO heads. So they will be giving you the training sessions and tell you the discussions. And if you want to sign up, you should tell your head of delegation, and the signing up will be through the head of delegation, inshallah. And I've already told you that if you need more information, you can just go and ask around our training booth through the EMR. So I hope you're all excited and can't wait to see you in Muscat, Oman. Thank you.
Thank you so much, May. Next, we will give the floor to Saad from Morocco to talk about the joint sessions that we will be having. Saad?
Thanks, Adonis. So Saad here, your external assistant. And as I always say, one hand never claps alone, and IFMC is not only about one standing committee. And this is why we have those joint sessions that are a new space for you and for members to discover new priorities and topics in the region, and to discuss topics and subjects that are including 2 or more standing committees. So starting with the first joint sessions that will be in this EMR meeting, we have the refugees mission and human rights in SCORP exchanges. So in general, as you know, in our region, mainly we have a priority issue, which is refugees and migrants. And in SCORP and exchanges, it is very useful tool to use those educational activities as a way to offer the incomings and the outgoings some new knowledge and include them to improve the health of refugees in the region. So this session will be showing you how to do that in your countries. The second session will be applying public health strategies on HPV. So this is mainly between SCOF and SCORA, and participants will be learning how to apply public health strategies such as prevention, control of the HPV transmission, how to empower the population on accessibility to screening measures, on protective measures. In general, it will be giving you the tools to become leaders on the HPV prevention, control, and fights in the region, because HPV is a main issue, and it will be also in collaboration with the MENA HPV coalition. So stay tuned for that session. The third session will be the core competencies of research activities, and this will be between SCOME and SCORI. As you know, research is actually one of our global priorities on the international level, and also on the national and regional level. And the aim of this session is to offer members some notions on the importance of research, how you can be learning and doing research, and how to include it in your medical education and in your medical curriculum. And the final session will be Advocates for Rights. This is between SCORP and SCOME. This will be giving you the tools to become future health advocates on human rights, mainly in your medical process. You'll be learning about rights of patients, rights of doctors and medical students, rights of children, including non-discrimination, non-violence, access to education and healthcare, and you'll be having the tools and in order to become future advocates for human rights as you are future health professionals. So as I said before, this will be an opportunity for you to get out of your comfort zone, to meet even more participants and other participants. So don't miss the joint sessions and stay tuned.
Thank you, Saad. So next we will be talking about the plenary at the EMR. We have a guest with us on this webinar, Ahmad from Iraq, who was pre-selected as the plenary chairperson for EMR15. Ahmad, I want to thank you so much for joining us. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Adonis, and thank you for the rest of the team for having me here. So it wouldn't be fun without talking about plenaries, wouldn't it? Here, I'll want to make this very, very brief. I'd like to introduce you to the plenary team this year for EMR. I'll be the chairperson, and I'm Ahmed. I'm from Iraq. Vice chair will be Omar from IFMSA Joe. Secretary is Mohammed Mamdouh from Egypt. Secretary Assistant Basma from IFMSA Joe as well. And both returning officers, Melissa and Maria from Lemsik, Lebanon. Moving on to plenary agenda, we will have the opening through which we will do the roll call. And then we will have election of the plenary team. We will have election of the chairperson, vice chairperson, and we will have appointment of secretary and secretary assistants. So that would be election. For returning officers, we will have adoption of the agenda, which, by the way, will be shared with the NMOs very, very soon. After that, we'll have adoption of the report of the EMR regional team. Sorry. This should be presented also by the regional team very, very shortly. Or the ones I think that are soon to be presented. I mean, I think one report was already shared previously or two. I'm not quite sure about this. Probably Adonis can tell you later. After that, we'll have amendments to the regional regulations. And after it will be presentations of candidatures for hosting the next EMR regional meeting. I think the deadline was yesterday night, so these should all be shared today or tomorrow, I think, max. After that, we'll have elections of the EMR regional meeting, and then we will adopt any other businesses. So for this year, we'll be at minutes every session, that is EMR14, and we will be adopting the recommendations of EMR15 theme event. And that, I think, is something happening for the first time here. And we'll have statements and then closure. That's a very, very brief and very simple agenda, as you can see. My recommendations really for you is to, I mean, from my perspective and everyone here, I believe, is that voting on the EMR regulations, on the candidatures, and any other plenary motions is not the sole decision of the NMO president. So don't give them just the work of a lot for them individually to do that. I would really encourage everyone listening to this webinar to approach your NMO president, ask them to share these documents with you, whether it was the candidatures, the IOG changes, reports of the EMR regional team, and to discuss them, actively go through them together, and then decide whether you want, I don't know, to comment on them, amend on them, vote for them, against them, I don't know. But have an active discussion. This should really, really encourage to have a fruitful plenary session. And that's it from my side. Thank you very much again for having me here.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. So just to add on the points that you mentioned, we have shared 3 reports actually since the beginning of the term. These are collective reports of the regional team, but the reports that we will be adopting at the plenary are individual reports that summarize the work that each one of us has been doing since the beginning of the term. And as for the host of EMR16, the candidates will be shared tonight. Moving on, we have the activities fair, which is going to be presented by Noor again. Noor, the floor is yours.
Hello again. So I'm going to be talking about the activities fair and the activities presentation, which are one of the most 2 exciting events in the EMR and in any meeting, IFMSA meeting. So the activities fair is happening on the 3rd day of the EMR, which is February 9th. It's a 2-hour event from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., where participants from different NMOs of the region are going to showcase their achievements and future plan for the different standing committees. It's basically like a poster session where each presenter will be provided with a table and a poster stand. And we also encourage getting any promotional material that was used when the activity was conducted, including brochures, surveys, or stickers. There will be 10 judges around the room judging the activities, and the top 3 activities will be selected, and the winners will be announced on the closing ceremony of the last day on the EMR. We encourage you all to attend this session to be inspired from what your fellow colleagues are doing, learn from their achievements and obstacles, exchange ideas, and build up a common ground for future collaboration. Next slide, please, Adonis. So on this slide, you can see the 25 activities that were selected based on predetermined criteria. As you can see here, we have great representation of all the standing committees and activities from 11 NMOs, which is really great. And we cannot wait to see the great work that you've been doing in Oman. Next slide, please. As for the activities presentation, it will be happening on the first day of the EMR, which is the 7th of February. It's also a 2-hour event from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. The setup here, though, is way different than the activities fair. Here, the activity will be presented in front of all the attendees, and the PowerPoint presentation will be displayed. The selection process for the activity presentation was very tedious, as we had more than 30 amazing applications, but due to time restraints, unfortunately, we have to select only 10 activities. So each presenter will have 7 minutes to present, and then 3 minutes will be left for questions. There will be a panel of judges from the regional team and from the team of officials to judge the presentation based on predetermined criteria, and the top 3 activities, like the activities fair, will be announced in the closing ceremony. Next slide, please. So here you can see the activities that were selected for the activities presentation. They were selected from each standing committee proportional to the number of activities that we received, because as you can see, we have a lot of SCOF activities. And also we took into consideration the NMO so that we can try to have presentations from as many NMOs as possible. So that's it for me. I can't wait to see you very soon.
Okay, thank you, Noor, so much. We have the exchange poster fair here. Muhammad, do you have anything to say here?
No, Adobe. The whole details will be sent to all news and Nouri's in the next few days. So no worries, guys. Everything will be sent in detail to you. That's it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So now for the fun part. The organizing committee has prepared plenty of social programs for you throughout this EMR. We have, during the pre-EMR, we are going to visit the palace and then visit Matrah Souk on the second day, and there is going to be a lot of delicious food. That's what the OC assured me. As for the EMR, the first night will be the opening ceremony. The opening ceremony will be before the first day. The first night we will have the cultural night, which you will get to showcase your cultural dance, bring your cultural clothes, and let's have fun. And for the rest of the next day, we will have a special social program that was organized by the OC. And finally, we have the closing ceremony on the last day. Now, finally, before we conclude, I just want to say that this is really a unique opportunity, and I advise you all to really make the most of it. We are going out of our comfort zone and exploring new things and taking big steps to move our region forward. And we need you in order to do that. So come prepared, get excited, and we can't wait to see you in Muscat. I'm going to open the floor to questions now, in case anyone has anything to add. You can just leave them on the chat on the left of the screen. We have 5 minutes scheduled for questions, so we're just going to wait for a couple of minutes. We have 25 people watching. We are getting some love from Hussam Al-Tarauni. Thank you, Hussam. We love you too. Okay, so we do not have any questions at the moment. I'm going to thank you all for watching this webinar. It's really amazing that we have, I saw 27 right there, so we had up to 27 people watching. That was really wonderful. We really can't wait. I think I speak on behalf of all of the regional team and the plenary team that we really can't wait to see you all in Muscat. Prepare yourselves for a really magnificent regional meeting, and we'll see you soon.